Hi, it's Sophie from the What is K-pop podcast. I just wanted to quickly pop in before today's episode properly starts to just warn of a trigger warning for people who might have eating issues. This episode does delve into my personal issues with eating, so if that is something that you struggle with, I would probably advise that you don't listen to today's episode. I have a lot of ones that have no kind of mentions of that sort of topic, and just generally triggering topics in them at all, I hope. Yeah, I do apologize that obviously you can't listen to a new podcast episode, but sometimes we do have to broach these more difficult topics in an episode. But I do hope that if anyone is wanting to listen, that you do enjoy, and I will talk to you in just 1 second. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to today's episode of the What is K-pop podcast, brought to you a little bit later than I usually post them, unfortunately. I've basically been having some internet issues, plus like sometimes just things just malfunction, and I can't really do much about that unless I want to fork out like £1,000 for like a better laptop that actually works like properly with everything that I want to do. So we're just going to stick to questionable internet connections. And also, like, I live out in the sticks, so internet is kind of questionable sometimes, especially like during busy times of the year. So like Christmas time is god awful. Like we literally lost our internet from just, I think it was Boxing Day to New Year's. We had literally no internet, and I watched this show about like tattoo cover-ups, like this studio that specializes in tattoo cover-ups, and I watched that so many times, like so many episodes, and it was absolutely ridiculous. It was also the year that I got this Lego monster truck that I managed to mess up only the very slightest piece, so that like when I went to go and like this was like 20 steps behind where I'd gotten to at that point before I realized it, and like it just would not fit this other piece. And like I tried to backtrack and I tried to like figure it out, but I just could not do it. So my dad ended up like asking some like friends from work, people that like he has like favors to like cash in, and he was like, my dudes, can you build this monster truck for my daughter? Like she tried, but it just did not, it hasn't gone well for her. She could normally do Lego, but like this one just is not Legoing, so can you do it? And it took them a good couple of months, but they were able to do it. And they actually have another one of my not like Lego this time, but it's like wooden Lego. And my dad said to me, "Oh, don't worry. Like they'll get in contact again once they've finished. They're the type that just goes off the grid. There are a couple. So hopefully I get that back before I turn 21, because I do have an idea of where I wanna have it. I want to have it like inside of like my K-pop shrine thing. So if I ever do a visual podcast, you'll be able to see it. Like I have the idea of that, like I'll probably get some sort of stand, or maybe I'll like pile up a load of my books or something and just have my laptop on there, and then you can actually see me and you can see the K-pop shrine for what it is, because I would absolutely love it if you could like have a look at like the thing that I've created over what was it, like nearly 2 years. I got my first album when I was 15. Not 15, 19. What am I talking about? When I was 19. And I've been kind of collecting them since that point, but I've not actually bought. Actually, no, that's a lie. I nearly said I hadn't bought any since Christmas, but that's a lie because I wanted to buy Rise's album and Zero Base One's, but I didn't want to buy it directly. I didn't want to buy Rises directly from SM because of like everything they're doing to Saesangs. So I kind of was holding on off a bit. And I was like, you know what? I'm sad. I want to buy stuff. So I did. I bought it off of Amazon and it came and it was delightful. And the thing was is that I paid the same price for the Zero Base One album as I did for the Rise album. And I went through to my dad after I'd like unpackaged it and like was looking at it and stuff, and he was like, "What do you think that you spent? Like your money is well spent?" Because it was like £50, and I was like, "Definitely not for the Zero Base One album. I think I seriously underpaid, and I think I overpaid for the Rise one." So he was like, "Well, then it doesn't it balance each other out?" And I was like, "Yeah, it does, but I just wanted to mention that, yeah." So today's episode is about Saesangs and about just generally my personal feelings on like safety and how personally I would approach safety if I was a K-pop idol or someone famous. So yeah, like just giving some context for this whole thing. NCT Dream member Renjun actually went on hiatus because of mental health issues, and it's thought that potentially the reason why he went on hiatus is because of the amount of hate he got when Dreamscape was released, because Renjun had put on a little bit of weight. And the thing is that okay, so quick trigger warning, talking about weight for a second. When I was younger, so when I was 11, I went into secondary school. That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal for kids that they go into secondary school at the age of 11 in England, and um, they go to a secondary school for 5 years, and then they go to either college or sixth form, apprenticeships, into a job, or this, that, and the other. And when I went to secondary school, I actually ended up losing, I think it would have been, because I didn't ever check my weight. I never did that. Mainly because of the fact that I just didn't think I had a problem. But I ended up losing about 2 stone, I think it was, maybe 2 kilos. I lost a lot of weight, and it was because of the stress that I had on me going to such a big school, being around so many people, and basically I had at the time undiagnosed autism, and obviously it's diagnosed. I'm able to acknowledge when I'm getting overwhelmed now, but at the time, obviously, I didn't know. I just thought that it's a bit overwhelming, but like I'll settle down. But instead, what my body did was that I just stopped eating as much as I used to when I was younger. I like the stress didn't make me that hungry. So like an average size plate of pasta, like a normal size plate of pasta, I would only eat half of it because I thought that like, oh, they just do big portion sizes here. And it took me it went on for a while. It was about I went to secondary school starting in September, and then it wasn't until I think it would have been about now, so April, May, June time, when my parents really started to notice that like I had lost a bunch of weight. And it was also around about that time that my parents actually caught the flu, and so that triggered like health anxiety for me as well. And that health anxiety was brought on because of my mum's illnesses when I was younger, and like had to watch her basically be ill for a lot of my childhood. And so that re-triggered stuff in me. And then I started what's it called, food tech in school, and like safety around food became the biggest thing of my life. And I remember distinctly I had a food tech lesson where we made meatballs. And because obviously you have to be really careful around meat because of, you know, the bacteria and the risk of you getting ill yourself making the meatballs, and also if you don't cook them properly, the people who are eating them could also get ill. So like it triggered something in my mind to the point where I couldn't touch anything that might have potentially touched raw meat. And at that point, obviously, I was already a little bit about bacteria and stuff anyway, because like schools are not really that clean. Like they're clean for the most part, obviously, because the school had cleaners, but like they weren't. I didn't feel safe going to school without a bottle of hand sanitizer. So I would be putting on the hand sanitizer multiple times a day, and also had issues surrounding meat, had issues surrounding anything that might have been around raw meat, and I was dealing with undiagnosed anxiety, OCD, autism, everything else. So like obviously it never came to like a massive head because, you know, I never went to treatment for an eating disorder, and I've never been to a doctor about an eating disorder. I've never been diagnosed, like officially. But it's been since I got diagnosed with autism and I've done research that I think I actually had avoidance restrictive food intake disorder, and I still have it. It's called AFRID. And I, like, to be fair, like, I don't consider it that much of a hindrance on my life as much as it was when I was younger. But that's because of the fact that I've had to kind of come to terms within myself that getting ill from food is just inevitable for some people. Like for some foods, it's just inevitable that like you might get ill from them, and that's okay because like you can do stuff in order to prevent it for the most part, in the sense of like going to a well-respected restaurant, or like washing your hands before touching raw meat and washing them afterwards, or you know, not eating meat that you don't feel totally safe with eating. And like there are things that you can do to help yourself not spiral out of control and kind of go back to that like darker place. But like definitely it was one of the more scary parts of my life, specifically because at that stage I hadn't really had many issues in terms of anything in my life. Actually, I was a pretty chilled out kid, all things considered. Like I was a pretty chill kid. Now I have anxiety, but like I've always been kind of slightly verging on being an anxious kid. But like when it comes to like some things, as long as I have my food, like when I was a kid, I was pretty content. And like now, my God, jeez Louise, I don't have as many issues with that nowadays, but it is certainly something that I do think about, and I do have the odd day where it kind of crops up a little bit, and like I'm kind of feeling as though I'm at the mercy of it again. But yeah, I mean, with K-pop idols, they have to, air quotes on this, they have to have the same figure, like the same build, but that build is normally stick thin, verging on probably being anorexic. And it is really, really sad that we have that as a thing that like some people aspire to be a K-pop idol. So they're essentially aspiring to have eating issues and, you know, not being healthy and doing dangerous things to their body. And so for Renjun to be of a relatively healthy weight is good. I think it's really good that he had put on a bit of weight before the comeback, but then the hate started to kind of roll in, and it was honestly, it was really, really sad because, like, who cares if, like, this person has weight on? If you think about it, let me just throw another group into the mix here. New Jeans, okay? Before you come at me, before you come at me, because I know that, like, this is gonna be a bit of a controversial topic for like a hot second. New Jeans, okay? In their OMG comeback, let me just put my beads down a minute because I was sorting them out whilst I was talking. Just casually. Let me just get a new window up. Put that to the side. I love the professionalism here. New Jeans OMG concept photos. There we go. Also, quickly, I actually really like Danielle's hair in Bubblegum, their latest song that they've just released. So cool. I love it. It's like curly as fuck. I love it. Can I find a whole body shot? Can I? To be fair, I shouldn't probably be able to find it because these girls are quite young and that would be creepy, but for the sake of this, we're just gonna get a picture up. Yeah, so they're wearing relatively baggy clothes, which means that if, let's say, I don't know, pull a random member on my ass a minute, Danielle had put on a little bit more weight, we wouldn't really be able to tell. And I think, like, honestly, I personally don't care as long as the idol feels comfortable within themselves. And I think considering that Renjun hadn't gone ahead and tried to become thin very quickly before the comeback means to say that he perhaps feels comfortable within himself to appear in a way that perhaps is different to what we're used to. I don't know how to phrase it without it kind of sounding a bit weird. But like, seeing as, first of all, SM would have to kind of say like, oh yeah, no, like, your visuals are okay, like, yeah, love it, yeah, you know, good. And they wouldn't have let Renjun go on stage if they didn't like what they were seeing, okay? I hate to break it to everyone, and I really to be fair, I don't actually hate it, if I'm going to be honest. Reality checks are a thing and we all need to have them. People put on weight all the time, okay? And again, we're going to talk about weight. The trigger warning still has not been lifted, by the way. I've just lost a bead. Oh well, didn't really like that one anyway. It was one of the glow in the dark ones, and I kind of find it creepy that glow in the dark stuff just is a bit weird to me. I don't know why. I used to have this Horrid Henry glow in the dark book, and I used to have to hide it in my bookcase because it kind of creeped me out as a kid. Because it would just obviously start glowing in the dark as I was going to sleep. So I used to hide it in my bookcase. Yeah, weird things that you do as a kid. I've forgotten what I was talking about. I know it was like the ED stuff, but I don't know where in which I was talking. Oh yeah, so SM wouldn't have let any of the members go up on stage if they did not feel comfortable with their visuals. And the same goes for like Ray and Ivan, like Starship. If they didn't like Ray's visuals, they wouldn't have let her on the stage. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they would not have let her on the stage. Okay, so trigger warning has been lifted. Hi back to everyone who left for like a hot minute, came back. I don't know how on earth you can actually like skip through trigger warning stuff. So I might actually see if I can like take out the trigger warning stuff and just like post a separate episode about all of the bad stuff that we're not going to talk about again. But yeah, more on Saesangs just in general. I feel kind of weird about the whole like Saesang. Oh, jeez Louise, this is probably not the best idea to sort out your beads when you're doing a podcast, Sophie. But yeah, here we are. I feel like the whole thing with being famous to me is a really slippery kind of slope thing, because I'll admit, I would love to be famous. I think anyone would love to be famous, except from obviously those who are really private people. Then, like, fair enough, if you don't want to become famous, fair enough. But, like, the fact that you have to pay a price of your own sanity in some ways just shows that, like, the entertainment industry in all areas, including South Korea and most prominently K-pop idols, is like the fact that you have to give away your own sanity in some cases is absolutely balmy to me. I think it's ridiculous that you have to essentially give up mental well-being so that you can be famous, because there's just some people in this world who don't understand the concept of boundaries, and that they're willing to, in some cases, hurt the people that they love or supposedly love, or even hurt the people who they don't love because they're in the group that they're in the same group as the people that they do actually love. Like, again, absolutely ridiculous, absolutely balmy, completely and utterly ludicrous. I cannot believe that some people are willing to do that. It's like if I walked down my local high street right now, which I'm not going to because it's raining, and also I don't want to go outside, and I randomly bumped into, I don't know, again, pulling out my ass, Renjun from NCT Dream again. I wouldn't probably. First of all, I would be like, dude, are you okay? Because first of all, you're in the fucking sticks of England, and you're supposed to either be probably in Seoul or in, like, I don't know where he lived. I don't know where his family lives. Beijing, I don't know. You're meant to be in China, my dude. Like, why are you here? Why are you in England? I'm like, what? Why? What happened? What space apocalypse happened so that you're in England of all places? Like, why the hell would you want to come here? It's raining. Like, come on. We're literally the exact stereotype of your thinking right now. We're raining. But also I would like kind of be chill about it, because like at the end of the day, these people are still people. Like, I'm still a person even though I am a podcast host. Like, I sometimes trip over my own feet. I say the wrong things. I call my sister as of a night time every single night because I love her and I want to talk to her. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form, and I don't expect any of you lot to think of me as a perfect person. Like, I talk about some really dark and weird shit sometimes, I swear. I have two cats that I often will mention in passing. I often don't take out like parts of the podcast that like most people would do. And that's just because, first of all, I can't be bothered. And second of all, I'm just having fun here. And like it's weird the thought of that if I ever become famous from doing this, I would have to sacrifice my own sanity in order to make other people happy. That's weird. And like also I live with my parents, and I live on a street full of all elderly people. When I first recorded this, I said that I lived on like God's waiting room, and that is obviously still true. Obviously, I've not moved, and like I literally recorded yesterday. But like I don't want people to know where I live. I don't want people to like disrupt my neighbours. I don't want my parents to feel unsafe living in their own home. And so, like, that's kind of why I don't say exactly where I live. I say I live in Exeter, even though I very much don't. I say it because then you can kind of, I don't know, guess as to like location, like when I say like, oh, some like a place that's like 18 miles away from my house, which is the big like city that my mum and my sister often go to when they're like shopping. There's a site thing that I used actually one time to see locations 18 miles away from Exeter. You can, yes, create a radius map. Let's have a look. And like you can like probably tell if you really wanted to where I live. Like, I'm not gonna exactly stop people from trying to figure it out, because you know the fact of the matter is that like my accent is pretty regional to where I actually live in reality. Like, for example, I would probably say, oh, my parents, my sister and my mum are going to Bampton, which is 18-20 miles away from Exeter. Or I would say, oh, they've just gone to Torquay for the day. But like they've not, because that's not possible. Literally, like I don't live near there, and if you wanted to, I'm not going to stop anyone from trying to, like, first of all, I've said where I used to go to school, kind of. Like, I've mentioned in passing that, like, it's a saint of Europe. And, like, if you wanted to, you'd be able to figure it out. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm also, if someone was to actually track me down, I wouldn't be happy about that, because then that kind of breaks the whole fact that like I'm just an anonymous 20-year-old living in England with her parents. Like, it's no longer me just doing this for fun. It's now I'm scared that like someone has like taken the time to figure, first of all, where in England I live, like the exact region, gone to my town, and then figured out from there where my house is, and like come to my house. Like that's not okay. And I'd like to hope that everyone who's listening knows that like I would not stand for that. So I don't understand why we don't give the same grace to not Saesangs, idols. Like I don't understand why we don't just treat them like the actual people that they are. Because at the end of the day, they're just living their life. Yeah, they're idols, they are famous people, but famous people are still very much people. And, you know, there's Yunho from TVXQ. He got super glued from a Sasang because they wanted to hurt him for some reason. And like, he was just living his life, making music, doing life, and he got poisoned. Like, what kind of balmy ass shit is this? Like, why? Why would you do that to someone? They're not even doing anything to you, so who gives you the right to think that that's like an appropriate thing to do? Like, what? Like, why? Why would you do that to someone? So yeah, I don't always know how to carry these on or like how to finish them. But like, to be fair, I feel like that's all I kind of want to talk about. I don't know. I'm kind of one of those people. I'm like Lino from Stray Kids, where he's like, okay, bye then. When he's finished doing a live stream, I'm like, okay, bye. But yeah, no, like Sasangs are weird. They are a breed of their own, and I wish upon anything that like they stop what they're doing, because idols are people too. They just want to do their life. They just want to make music and perform and do shit like that. Like they don't want to be afraid of their own lives. So please stop. If any Sasangs are watching this, listening to this, I sincerely doubt you are. But please don't do this. It is pretty concerning, and it kind of makes, at least for me, it makes me scared that, you know, if anything was to, like, if this podcast was to blow up and people actually knew who I was and came to my house, I probably wouldn't carry on doing it because it just isn't worth it to me. And I hope that anyone who is on hiatus right now, Renjun, if you are listening to this, hi Renjun, I'm a fan of yours. I really liked your part in Beatbox. It was very nice. Your voice is very sweet and soothing, I guess, in some ways. And I really wish you did a full cover of Golden Hour. It was, I feel like it could have been like my most favorite cover of a song ever. But it is certainly up there. It's like fourth or fifth. Just randomly felt like I wanted to say my favorite is Angel Baby by is it called that one? Yeah, by Songwell. Real artists, like proper original artist is Troye Sivan, I think. Yeah, am I remembering? Yeah, I think I am. But yeah, Renjun, please do take as much time as you need. Mental health concerns are very, very scary sometimes. Sometimes it can just change in a blink of an eye. So please do take as much time as you need to rest and recover. And to anyone else who is potentially struggling with mental health issues, please do go get help. Probably not from BetterHelp. Don't do that. if they ever were to like contact me and be like, "Hi, can we sponsor you?" I would have to be like, no. But no, if you do use that, feel free. I mean, I won't tell you not to. But yeah, you know, if you are struggling, please do get in contact with a healthcare provider, or just even talking to like family, your friends, or even your cat or dog, or like anyone. Taking a load off can sometimes really be of a help. So if you are struggling, please don't feel like you have to struggle alone. Someone will be out there to listen to you. A great charity or a great organisation in the UK specifically is Mind. They do offer support 24/7, I'm pretty sure, and they have a lot of information about mental health issues, not only for yourself but also spotting it in other people. So if you are also wondering about taking care of others, that is a great place to get more information, if not for just checking like health sites like Healthline, Cleveland Clinic, the NHS website entirely. Mayo Clinic's pretty good sometimes, but generally, like the only thing I can say for certain with mental health concerns is just being there. Being there for a friend is often the best kind of support that you can give, and honestly, just reminding that person that they're not going through this alone is sometimes the best source of motivation for them to get help entirely. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I have to say. Hopefully this podcast episode can go up. I will be upset if it can't, because I don't really want to record a third time. But yeah, I have been myself, you have been you, we have been us. The cats are sleeping right now, and I've got to go and make myself some lunch because I am hungry. Okay, thank you for listening. Bye.